One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. Summary: Simon Kelleher has a particular talent for uncovering the secrets of his fellow students at Bayview High School. He uses a gossip app he created called About That to spread these secrets as well as rumors and nasty comments about his peers. One September afternoon, Simon and four other seniors find themselves in detention. Eddie Prentice, Baldwin Rogers, and Cooper Clay are rarely mentioned in Simon's app, but Nate Macaulay, who is often in trouble and who sleeps with a lot of girls, appears frequently. A teacher, Mr. Avery, has given all 5 students detention for having their cell phones in class, phones which they all claim were planted. When a car crash occurs outside, Mr. Avery leaves to go make sure no one was hurt. Moments later, Simon takes a drink of water and collapses almost instantly. After a frantic search for an EpiPen comes up empty, Simon is taken away by paramedics and soon is later pronounced dead. Addie and her boyfriend Jake are friends with Cooper and her girlfriend Kelly Browin, whom Nate has known since kindergarten, has been an overachiever ever since her younger sister Maeve survived leukemia. Speculation about Simon's death quickly takes over Bayview High School as the police seems to be treating it as not having been an accident. The 4 students who were in detention with Simon are approached by the police when someone makes an online post claiming to be Simon's murderer. The police also discover unpublished about that content queued up by Simon, implying that Addie, Browin, Cooper, and Nate each has a secret to hide. The police believe that each benefited from Simon's death because that prevented these rumors from being posted. Jake and Addie have been together since their freshman year, but Addie fears that what will happen when Jake finds out that she had sex with someone else last year. That is her secret. Although generally a top student, Rowan once stole chemistry exam answers of a teacher's computer. She fears what will happen if this becomes public knowledge. The police also confront Browin with an old about that post. Simon wrote a humiliating account of her sister Maeve's first high school party and made light of her bout with cancer, which obviously angered Browin. Cooper is a pitcher with a bright future playing baseball, has a popular girlfriend, and is widely liked. The rumor Simon had queued up that Cooper used steroids is untrue. However, the police discover a file Simon had encrypted containing another rumor about Cooper, and this one actually is true. Despite protest from Cooper's lawyer, Cooper is pressured into revealing his secret to his family. He is gay and he has been cheating on Kaylee with a guy named Chris. As the only member of the Bayview Four with a criminal record, Nate seems to be the leading suspect in Simon's murder. Nate has always had feelings for Brownin, feelings that seems to be mutual as they grow closer during the investigation into Simon's death. However, Nate worries that Brownin just sees him as a project she can manage. Nate was known to have used and sold drugs in the past, and Simon's unpublished post alleges that he is doing so again, which is in fact true. But since Simon's death and the events following it, Nate has walked away from selling and taking drugs, at least partly because he knows that Brownen deserves someone whose life is less complicated. When the police seems focused only on pinning Simone's death on one or more of the Bayview Four, Maeve begins an investigation of Simone's of her own, and she shares what she finds with her sister Brownin. Maeve is able to access Simone's About That admin page, and she also looks into Simone's past. Maeve discovers some unsettling information about Simone, including some terrible comments he wrote and posted after a nearby schooling shooting. In spite of their lawyer and parents discouraging the Bayou Four from speaking with each other, they agree to work together as the investigation intensifies. Aided by Ashton and Maeve, they continue to dig into Simone's past. After Addie reaches out to Janet, Simone's only friend, Janet starts spending time with Addie and Brownin. Addie finally confesses to Jack that she had cheated on him, and she is bullied and ostracized at school by her former friends, who, it turns out, were just Jake's friends and not hers. However, she finds new freedom once she is outside Jake's influence. After Cooper tells his parents about Chris, he confides in Addie. As well, Nate comes to Cooper's defense when the school learns that Cooper is gay. By now, everyone's secret is out, and each of the four is increasingly intent on finding Simone's real killer so they can move forward with their lives. For Addie and Cooper, the urgency briefly lessens when Nate is arrested. Acting on an anonymous tip, the police have discovered incriminating items in Nate's possession, including Simone's EpiPen and water bottle. Nate's fingerprint don't appear on any of the items. However, Brownin enlists Addie and Cooper to help clear Nate, as well as a pro bono lawyer named Ellie Klenfelter. Since she is deeply involved in the investigation, Brownin has been warned not to contact Ellie, who has officially takes on Nate's case, so she feeds Ellie information through Ashton. When the Bayview Four discover that Simone hired someone to stage the car crash, they conclude that Simone orchestrated his own death. However, the group don't believe that Simone acted alone. Simone must have had an accomplice, whoever has been posting anonymously about the case. Jake soon becomes their prime suspect, which saddens Addie. Addie goes to Janet's home and Janet confirms that Simone did indeed orchestrate his own death. He used his knowledge about Addie's infidelity to persuade Jack to help him, including planting the fake cell phone that led the group being assigned to retention. After Simone's death, Jake wrote the anonymous post and forced Janet to plant evidence that would implicate his ex-girlfriend Addie, or so Jack thought. In the end, Janet couldn't bring herself frame Addie because Addie has been so kind to her after Simone's death, so she framed Nate instead. The framing of Nate was a deception that the police were too willing to accept as fact. Confronted by Jake in her home, Janet tries to stand up to him and get him to admit to his role in the framing plot, while Addie hides and records the conversation on her phone. But when Addie's phone rings at this moment, she is chased from the house by Jake. Addie falls, hitting her head on a rock, and Jake begins to throttle her. Cooper suddenly appears just in time to pull Jack off Addie and save her life. The authorities are called and Jake is taken into custody. Addie recovers from Jake's attack. Nate is released from jail and the baby four, now exonerated, move forward with their lives. Nate decides that Brownin is better off without him. But Brownin is hurt by his coldness towards her. A few months later, members of the group gather to watch Brownin perform in a recital. Afterwards, Nate surprises Brownin with an apology. So many good things in Nate's life have been ruined, but he doesn't want to lose Brownin. They agree to resume their relationship.